In general, Uzbekistan, relatively very young country, but for the past 25 years, we have to admit that this country was rather closed generally. And now, for the past 2 years, we have the new president, Mr. Mirziyoyev, and he is pursuing the policy of openness. He started with the opening up the borders with the neighbors, trying to establish the peace in this region. As you know, the Central Asia is consisting of the all countries which end in stans. Uzbekistan in the center, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan, and we have one more neighbor, which is Afghanistan, which is unfortunately not that very peaceful place. And Uzbekistan is in the center of this region, and now for the past 2 years there have been tremendous changes in overall peace process since we opened up the borders, and our president declared the improving relations with the closest neighbors as one of the top priorities of the foreign policy. So even his first visit to foreign countries started with the neighbors, and therefore he, for instance, in the last address to the parliament last week, president stressed the importance of the foreign direct investment to Uzbekistan, as well as improving of the social sphere. By social sphere, we also mean about the improvements in the general public education, where our ministry is responsible. In Uzbekistan, we have 3 ministries responsible for education. We have the press school ministry, which is recently formed, the youngest ministry, which is responsible for the kindergartens. For the past 2 years, President is stressing on the importance of education from the early ages, from the kindergarten ages. So the main idea is to cover most of the population at this age with the kindergarten services. In the middle, our Ministry of Public Education, which is responsible for from the first year to 11th year. Previously, our system was consisting of 9 years of school education and 3 years of vocational or the lyceum type. So people had the choice of going after the school, after finishing the 9th grade, going to the vocational college, or the lyceums, which were under the universities. So we have 9+3 system. Now we are moving to 11-year education system, so that all 11 years are under our ministry. So huge demand for higher education, but it's not about just the quantity, but it's more about quality. Therefore, President is really stressing on the inviting more foreign universities. For instance, we already have many foreign universities, like from UK, we have Westminster International University in Tashkent. We have Singapore Institute of Management. We have Turin Polytechnical Institute in Tashkent. We have Inha University in Tashkent, the Korean University, and Russian universities, the Moscow State University, Gubkin, and others. And some more foreign universities are in the process of openings. A couple of Korean universities, a couple of Russian universities, and we would be really happy if we see here some German universities, especially in the field of engineering, science, which is actually the core of the overall German economy, and we really appreciate if any interested university either opens a branch in Uzbekistan or makes an alliance with our current universities, try to make some joint diploma projects or something like this. President decided to make the complete changes in the system of public education, and The idea is to start all the reforms from the scratch. Unfortunately, the since this ministry has been the biggest employer of public for the public service, I mean the employer which is funded by the state budget. Not, it's not considered as a public service. Uh, Regional mayors, as you know, we had a kind of not very good part of the history where we had the cases of forced labor, which is somehow used for the cotton fields and as well as some other jobs. And this negatively affected the quality of people working at the schools. And for the last 2 years, President decided to completely remove all these elements which are leading to the forced labor or anything related to this kind of violation of the rights of the teachers. What we would like to have is that we would like to improve the status of the teacher in a society in general. So, first decree which was signed by our president when we moved to this office was about general improvement of the status of the teacher in a society, which completely banned any forms of forced labor or distraction of the teachers from their main duties. To any calling to the even some meetings at the mayor's office or something like this, which everything was completely eliminated. And gradual increase of the salaries of the teachers. So we have, by the decree of the president, we have increased the salaries last September and from this 1st January. So we made the analysis for the past 3 years showing that the general level of teacher salaries are below than the average of Uzbekistan, as well as comparing to the leading fields like finance. And the pace of increase was also slower than those areas. So then President decides that no, we have to move on with this special increase for the salaries. So now the pace of increase in this field is higher than the other fields. Actually, we would like to make the teacher's salary much higher than the general average salary in the economy, as well as so that the idea is to bring the more qualified people to choose the field of education in the future. For instance, when we see the graduates, we just made the analysis of for the last year the choice of the university for by the brightest graduates of schools. Unfortunately, they choose finance, management, law, not the education. And the entrance course at the pedagogical university, the education, we have pedagogical university which are specialized in education. The general entrance score in those universities was much lower than the scores in the law, in the finance, and in economics. And now we would like to see that more of the young people, young and talented people, they want to become the school teachers. Such survey was conducted among the teachers. Are you willing your kid to be the teacher? I mean, what is your opinion about it? And they saw all the difficulties of their jobs, and then they wished for their kids much better jobs. I personally visited, for instance, during the cotton picking season, all the fields. If 2 years ago you visited the cotton field, unfortunately you could see that the people working at the schools now, or teachers, were picking the cotton. But now none of the school workers or the teachers were in the field. They were in their schools teaching and doing their job, as well as with increased salary, with increased attention by the as well as state and the parents. So now more and more people are interested to be the teachers. Another result might be in the form of more males coming to this field. Unfortunately, just due to this low-paid job, being low-paid job, the share of females was too big in this field. And just for 1 year, within 1 year, we have 13,000 males joining back to this field. And of course, this might go against the kind of gender issues, etc. But when you see that 90% are female and only 10% males, this is a completely opposite picture. And this is also a good sign when you see that in Asia, in Uzbekistan, males are considered as a kind of main people who are feeding the family. So, I mean, you see that males are coming back to being in the school system. This is a sign that the system is providing the opportunities for them. Now we made the clear announcement to the schools that any private school is welcome to Uzbekistan, and we have provided them the right to give this official document certifying that they are kind of legally able to provide the graduation certificate, and we try to provide them. State isn't the process of giving the license to the private schools, and just due to these changes, within 1 year, the number of private schools just doubled. In 2017 it was 43, in 2018 it's 84. From that perspective, we are welcome to any international schools as well. So if any European or German school system networks, they would like to open the school in Tashkent, we are very happy to assist them with all these procedures and bureaucracies and try to create all the necessary conditions for them to open the good quality school in Uzbekistan.